Welcome to another edition of the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight Contest, where we get to spotlight local real estate agents who are doing, or realtors that are doing some amazing things in the community. This has been, we are now in August of 2024. In August of 2024, whenever you're watching this, you might be watching this in 25 or something like that. But realizing where we are, because we're in this pivotal point in our a country where we're trying to figure out or what is going on with our markets. Because when you start thinking about typical markets that maybe say, hey, some people say, well, it's a buyer's market, or it's a seller's market, or it's a market for everybody. Our last year hasn't been any of those. Our last year hasn't, usually when it's a buyer's market, then the house prices of houses have gone down, and the buyers get to pick and they get to negotiate a price. And if you say it's a seller's market, then the prices are of what inventory is real low, and we're trying to find buyers for every houses, and there's a bidding war that's going on. Well, here in Denver metro area, it has been over the last year where the housing prices have stayed up and the inventory has stayed low, and the interest rates have been up, and the amount of people trying to figure out how they're going to buy a home and afford a home has gone down. And there's a market where, when we think of incomes where people can afford houses and buying their first homes, well, those houses aren't hardly there. And then you find this plethora of inventory of houses that are for high-end folks that probably can't afford a lot of them, especially with the interest rate that's up. So it has just been one of those interesting years. And so we are now, just in the last few weeks, we're realizing, hey, we don't want to go into a recession. So we got the Fed's talking about lowering interest rates. And, I'm on the lending side, so that hasn't happened yet. They're saying at the September meeting, we're going to go ahead and lower it, and then everybody can get excited. But interest rates are moving a little bit, and they are coming down. And so I would say through all of that, it's always a good time to buy. It's always a good time to make an investment, because if you look at the history of real estate and you look at the history of time, at least in America, since, it was popular to buy houses, which is in the 1900s, right? All the way until now, the average has been that you're going to have an increase in appreciation in the house that you buy. And so I'm excited that you're on today. I'm excited that you're here. You have weathered the storm. You're still here, which is, there's several people that I've done podcasts with that are no longer in the business, that are no longer out there making it happen. And then those warriors that are out there like yourself are doing what they need to do, and they're helping people, which is super important. So what I'd love for you to do first is just kind of, maybe you can tell us how to get a hold of you, your emails and social media and phone numbers, whatever that is. And then we'll kind of go into talking a little bit about what got you into this industry, a little bit about your story. Now, you don't have to start your story when you were 2 years old, but you can if you want. And then just kind of move forward into what you're doing now. So thank you for being on the show.
No, thank you very much. My name is Dawn Green. I've been a realtor for 9 years. I'm with eXp Realty right now. My phone number is 303-503-2650. You can look me up as Dawn Green, Sells Denver, Colorado. 9 years in the business. I used to be a mortgage underwriter before. So I've been in the mortgage business for 20 years before this. So I know the ins and outs of that world. Still do to this day. I try to keep up with it as much as possible. I do residential. I do commercial real estate as well. I've been dabbling quite a bit in the past year, growing that side of it. So that's me in the nutshell.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. The commercial side, why don't we start out with the commercial side and kind of talk, what do you like best about commercial? And what are some of the advantages that people can take with them? Because I think a lot of what we do, we talk about the residential all the time, but I know there's some advantages to being able to do commercial and know about commercial, and folks that are wanting to start stuff. What would you say to those folks?
Well, commercial is a good investment if you're looking to invest into a certain industry. There's plenty of land. There's office buildings. I do some leasing as well. And right now, leasing is pretty big right now. So I know back in COVID, everybody loved,
So good.
Everybody, everybody left the office, but it's actually getting better. So the market is great for leasing. It's if anybody wants to get back into doing something, it's a lot of negotiation. We just closed on a big deal with some other realtors that we did, and we were got a lot of perks for them. So many that so I mean it's a good area, but I think investing is great if you are ready to invest. There's multi units to invest in as well. A lot of people can do that. That is part, fourplex or more is more the commercial side of it. So yeah.
So is most of the commercial, when I think about commercial, there's different areas I think of commercial. I think of, like you said, the bigger complexes, the plexes, the apartment complexes, the where people actually live. Then I think of like office spaces, where that I think is, you can tell me about a little bit about office spaces working. And then I think of like warehousing. And the last few people that I've talked to about that are saying that a lot of people, manufacturing starting to come back to the U.S. We're starting to hold stuff in the U.S. because of all the container issues and stuff that we had. I drive down the 70 freeway and I keep seeing more and more of these huge, like,
Oh, I mean, those are all Amazon, most of them.
yeah, exactly. Amazon keeps putting them in, and
But
then you go out by the airport and they're putting a lot of commercial space in.
they are.
What is like is there a niche of part that you're in, or is it just, anything that deals with like land, and what are people getting into right now?
Well, a lot of land actually, because then they can build on it. Doing those garage dens or doing those garage spaces actually make a lot of money. Like a man caves, those are actually very profitable. Even your storage units, if you can buy land and then put storage units on it, you're going to make a lot of money because that's where the money is currently. So that's what I would do. Warehousing is a great tool to get into as well, but then you have to get those tenants to get that section, because you can break it up into warehousing. You can have different areas, maybe multi areas, but unfortunately that's a little bit harder. So I usually stick to the lower end of commercial currently. So the commercial office space, commercial leasing. We do have a commercial building currently for sale. We have a land that we're a commercial land that we just closing this week. So there's a lot of opportunities out there for people. So.
Are people still now, after COVID and people all started working from home, and now people are starting to come back into buildings and offices again? Is there a big demand for office space and finding ways right now? Or is it still where you just go like downtown and you're like, there's a ton of office space?
Oh, there's so many out there. And if you want to get into it, definitely get into it now before you're going to have a problem. Just like residential, same thing. Interest rates drop, buyers are going to have a harder time to buy. You need to get your butts in there, get it done, make it happen, and then refinance later for the residential and office space. Get in there. There's landlords are giving away everything currently right now, and they're giving what they can so they don't have to pay out as much. So I would say jump.
Jump when you can.
Jump
when you can. I love it. EXP has a different model than some of the other real estate places. Why did you pick EXP, and what are some of the benefits that you're able to provide clients as a result of being with them?
Well, I was with another company for 5 years. I just switched over in January to EXP. EXP is global. They have a lot to offer to everybody. I can call somebody in another state and work out a deal with them currently to help clients move or whatever the case is. And even commercial, we can help out as well, which is nice and interesting. So EXP has a lot to offer to a lot of people. Benefits. There's so much more, and we're at the top of the industry currently. We're setting the industry standards currently, and it's going to show this week. This week is a big change that's happening, and I'm sure you know about it. But I mean, we're setting standards, and I like that. At least we're ahead of the game than everybody else. So
maybe you can talk a little bit about some of the changes and how they'll affect the consumer. Yeah, I know internally they affect people, but how will it affect the consumer that there is a need for what we do and for the people that work with them.
Well, there is always a need for somebody to represent you. You don't want to be non-represented because then the other party is going to take advantage of you. If you're a buyer and you're looking at homes, say you walk through an open house and the seller and there's an agent there, they're going to take care of the seller. They're not going to represent you no matter which way it looks at. They're taking care of their seller at all times. So you should be represented as well. Just like if you're going to hire a lawyer, you're going to hire a lawyer to represent you in any case. That's the same thing as real estate. You need to have somebody navigate, help you negotiate, and get it done. So
I like that analogy because if let's say it's a criminal case, you're not going to hire the prosecutor to defend you, right?
They're not going to get it done. They're not going to get it done.
No, well, the prosecutor's job is to put you in jail, right? And to make a case against you. It's not to keep you out of jail.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can hire him to say, okay, on one end of the stand, say, okay, this is why the person's bad. And then go to the other side of the stand and say, this is why the person's good. It just doesn't work that way and doesn't happen that way. And so, as we're figuring it out in the industry and what it's doing, it is important that there is somebody who can advocate for you. If you're not buying a house every single day, then it's not something that you know how to do and you know how to do well. And it's just, I think Colorado is kind of in the middle of it because we've been doing and negotiating, doing things for a long time. And there's some people in other parts of the country that may have taken advantage of some of the folks that have been out there. And then as we've done a really good job here, it's some of the things that have been done. If people, are wanting to come to you, what can they expect? If I come to Don Green and either I'm selling my house or I'm trying to buy a house, whether it's a first time or a investment property, what can I expect from Don?
I walk you through the whole entire process. I start from the beginning. I sit down and I talk to you about what expectations are going to be and what documents are out there. I show you the exact documents, what you're going to see, how we explain them. We talk to you and we get it done. I communicate with my clients. I'm over the top. I'm always there when you need me. I'm pick up the phone. A lot of agents don't pick up the phone. I always pick up my phone every time. I don't care who it is. I always pick it up. I communicate throughout the whole entire process with lenders, title, the other agents. I make sure everybody is, even across the board and everybody understands. And first-time buyers, I'm always there. I always love to see their faces at the day of closing, just to know that they got into a home that they never thought they ever could. And that's the best feeling when it comes to that side of it, helping out buyers. And then, of course, sellers, they want to have a smooth transaction as well. And they want to make sure that there's no headaches and heartaches and whatever the case is. And, there's always hiccups. Every deal, every transaction is not the same. It's different. And they got to be treated differently on a daily basis. Come sit with me once a day and you'll figure it out. Nothing's the same. So.
Gotcha. I love how you said the word we. When I was teaching and doing stuff, kids would come up to me and they'd say, "We did this," and I said, "Is there a mouse in your pocket?" And because who is we, right? But I think what you're implying is it takes a whole team. There's a team of you. It's not just a standalone. You're going to find the right people in the right spots that are going to help you to complete the transaction as smooth and flawless as possible. Am I correct?
That is correct. I mean, I do have a team. I have a lender. I have a title company. I have myself. I have my broker if you need. There's other people that is in the mix and be glad to help, at all times. So it's not just me. There's other people. So.
Absolutely. Thank you. On the listing side, when you go and you're helping somebody, they want to sell their house. And here in what I found here in Colorado is, probably everywhere, people think their house is worth way more than it is.
Or they Google it, or they get talked by somebody else.
Well, and the house across, I had one guy, the house across the street sold for 1.1. So mine should be worth 1.1. And then I'm going, well, what makes your house equal to that one? Because that one was just refurbished, remodeled, full basement, a whole bunch of upgrades. Your house is showing about 600. What have you done? You don't have a basement that's finished. You have windows that are broken out. You haven't done anything since 1972. So you just go, okay, I don't see the correlation. How do you have some of those hard conversations of this is what it's going to take, not only the pricing to price it right, but to sell it? Like, are you asking them to take pictures down? Are you asking them, to get a carpet cleaner and clean carpet, that kind of stuff? How do you go about it and help them understand, or how would you help somebody understand what it's going to take to get best price on their house?
Well, again, every deal is different. I just have one currently. I had to go step by step with her. Unfortunately, she had to empty out her whole entire house to get it done. And we're at the point that she waited too long, and now we're into the school time, and it's going to be a little bit harder to sell. But she thought her house was priced at certain price. Well, unfortunately, you've never done upgrades. You've never done anything. You have the exterior needs some help. You have some interior that you have old lighting. You have everything is old. So why do you think it is that worth price? Well, I think it's worth this, and this is where we should price it if you want to sell it quick. If you want to hold on to it and make mortgage payments for the next 3 months, we can do that. But the problem is you're not going to get activity. And that's where they need to understand, do you want to sell it or do you want to sit on it? Do you want to fork more money out because mortgage payments, utility payments, whatever the case, now your house is empty, now you're living in another state. What's happening? You're paying on something that you don't want to pay on anymore. So why should you list it higher than you should about it?
But Don, this is my house. This was my dream home before I'm moving out, and I decorated exactly the way that I love, and everybody who comes in here is going to love it because of the way that I put it together.
Oh, yeah, you put it together 25 years ago, correct? Yes, I did. Oh, okay. Have you ever updated your lighting? Have you ever changed your flooring? Did you anything to update the world of 2024? Because that's what buyers are looking for. They want an updated house, something that is move-in ready, and your house is not move-in ready. You have an old kitchen. You have old carpet. You need to paint every single room. So there's a lot of things that need to be done, and the buyers are they're looking at price. How much does it cost to do all this to move into this property? So no, we need to price it here before we price it there.
Even though I have the mauve carpet and I have the gold trim everywhere, and
well, gold and back in, that.
Yeah, it's all back.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the market a little bit. What are you seeing as far as trends, and with the interest rates the way they've been in the last 6 months, and what has moved, and where do you see it going over the should somebody be waiting to sell till spring, or should they be saying, okay, I got to get out of here now? Some people got to move, right? I got a new job and I got to move. But what are the trends that you're seeing that you would advise folks on, whether they're selling or trying to buy?
If you have money in your house, say you have equity or anything like that, and you need to move and whatever, take advantage of equity loans currently. Fix up what needs to be fixed up, because again, buyers do not want to fix it up themselves. There's only maybe 10 or 20% of those buyers out there that don't mind moving into a house that needs to be refurbished. But most of the time, you need to always update your house on a yearly basis. And don't forget it. Maintain your house. Don't let things fall apart. And then all of a sudden you got to move and you think your house is worth something. Don't. Do it on a yearly basis. Pick a project, fix it, get it done. And, that's how our market is changing. Everybody wants the new. Either they want a new house or they want it to look new for the price. That's what the buyers are looking for. So that's my suggestion there for those people out there.
Maybe talk a little to me about investors, because it seems like it's a market where investors are buying up everything, flipping, fixing. How does a person that's trying to buy something to go live in and to be their dream, how do they compete with the investor world that is seeming to take over in our land here? And
well, there is lenders out there, and I'm not sure if you are one of them, but there is lenders out there that will actually give them the cash to go buy. And you can actually go buy a house first. Go buy it and then sell your other house later, or whatever the case is. There is those type of loans. There's many different types of loans out there that will give them advantage over those cash buyers. So you want to find the right lender to help you out with those scenarios. We did it during COVID. We did it before COVID. There's plenty of people to assist. So.
Absolutely. And I know the neighbors would rather have you in there than the investor in there for the folks that are trying to buy. In many cases, the neighbors are struggling to say, we want people, and not that renting's bad. One of the things that I can say is that if you want to create wealth and start generating wealth and have generational wealth, purchasing a home is probably one of the best ways to be able to do it. But if you're not ready to do it yet, then let's find a way to get you into a home. Like Don said, as a lender, there's all kind of programs out there for free, even first-time home buyers that, have 100% where they pay the down payment for you, and then you don't have to pay on the second for several years. I mean, we have all kind of different programs and bridge loans and all these. So don't think because investors are out there that you don't have a chance of getting a home. But what I would say is you need to find somebody who can help you. Because if you try to do that by yourself, am I correct?
No, it's very true. My statistics levels are pretty high. I pretty much, minus COVID, I was pretty good about getting everybody a contract on the first try, no matter what. We made sure it happened, even COVID. Yeah, there's a lot of people competing, but it, got them in a home eventually. It took a little bit, but, other than that, everybody just needs to find the right person to help them to navigate. And of course, the lender side as well, because if you don't have the cash, you do need to have the right person to help you on that side as well. So.
Oh, it is. One of the big things, I pretty much, I have a team of people do stuff, but I pretty much working with reverse mortgages, and reverse mortgages for purchase has been what I've done most of this last year, and allowing people who, whether they were saying, well, I have to downsize, or I have this big home that, I can't really live in, my spouse died, and we have this 5-bedroom house and the taxes are expensive or something, too expensive for me. Well, that doesn't mean they have to move into an apartment, right? They can, once they sell their house and about 50% down right in there, they can actually get into a home and keep some of their money. So, I've been doing a lot with folks that are coming from out of state, have sold their homes and say, I still want this nicer new Colorado home that's more expensive than I thought it was going to be. And then being able to get them in without making a payment for the rest of their life is pretty cool to be able to do. But at the same time, they don't know how to do that without
people know reverse mortgages either.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that can allow somebody to take advantage. And that, as my goal is how do I help people be able to achieve home ownership in a way that, can work for them when they didn't think it was possible. Those unique things for the folks that know it's possible, for those investors and stuff, obviously I'm not going to turn them down if they show up to me and say we want to do it. But it's just, I would rather help their person that they want to rent their house, buy a house. Think of all the apartment complexes and all the things that are going up in the Denver area are not being made for folks to own. So home ownership is key.
Rent is high.
Yeah.
Rent is high. Prices
high.
of homes are high. It's all high. So
absolutely. So I wanted more time, before we end today, and I thank you because I think this has been enlightening, and you can tell this is, Dawn is an absolute person who can help you get there. I love the statistic that she said is she helps people get into their homes right away. She knows how to price them right. She knows how to make it work. She knows how to negotiate. That is huge in this time and era. I just promise you, trust me on that. It is huge to be able to negotiate. So maybe you can, just tell us one more time how to get a hold of you, how somebody could, take what you have here and run with it and call you and do stuff. And then any other closing thoughts that you would have for us that would be, enlightening, that people would get to know that we didn't get to cover. I already asked the right question to get it to be covered.
Well, it's Dawn Green with eXp Realty, 303-503-2650. You can reach me at dawngreensalesdenver.com. That is my website. Check me out. And if you have questions, I'm always here to answer any questions at all times. I don't care who you are, I'll answer you. Even if you're another realtor, I'll be glad to help you. Insightful, just Look for things to change in the next 3 to 4 months. The world is changing. We are here. And you have to grow with it. Grow with the change and make it happen. And just make sure you have somebody in your back to help you out.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for being part of our show. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I mean, people are rushing and running, and I know you're busy with clients and people that are, coming to you saying, I need help. And so, one of the things that I say at the end of each of these shows is first that you can do this. This is not something that is above wherever you're at, even if we have to start out and say, here's our plan, and you don't get into a house until the spring or until 6 or 7 months.
Could be 2 years from now. It could be a long time. It doesn't matter. But work on the steps.
Just work on the steps in the process. So you absolutely can do this. So don't think you don't deserve this either, because that's the second thing is everybody deserves, at least in our country, to be able to have the opportunity for home ownership. And so you deserve it, but everybody has, should have the opportunity to have investment properties if that's what they want. Everybody deserves the opportunity to be able to utilize real estate for their portfolio that helps with their legacy. If that's what you want to do, don't think that you don't deserve it and somebody's more deserving of you because of where they grew up or how they grew up or because they were able to save money or something like that. And then the last thing is, please let us help you. Whether it's calling me as a lender or calling Don as a realtor or calling Don and having her use it other, I'm okay with it. My goal is that you get into a home and that you do it in a way that makes sense for you and you get some help, because it's too complex in this day and age to try to figure this out by yourself. So if you do those three things, you will be on it. You'll be having it. And just again, thank you for being on the show. We'll look forward to talking to you on the next one. Have a great, wonderful, just incredible day.